Well, hey there, YouTube. My name is Mo, and this is Mo's Workshop, and welcome to my channel, Mo Learns Making. This is a video that I've had in my head for a year or two, or a channel, rather, that I've had in my head for a year or two. And I have discovered over the years that I am apparently just as creative at coming up with excuses why I can't make this video as I am as coming up with ideas when I'm down here in my shop building stuff, solving problems, fixing things, adding beauty to the world for myself, for friends, for family, or just around the house, whatever. And so this whole video exists because a day or two ago, Rex Kruger, another YouTuber, posted a video on how he started his channel. It's kind of giving you an honest look at where he was a couple of years ago when he started off, some of the equipment that he used and so forth, and just giving some tips to guys, I guess, like me, on what it takes to build or to get started with a YouTube channel. And so I guess I decided, you know what, it's time to just put those excuses away and do something. And I was kind of dilly-dallying around, and then he put something on Instagram about that video. I made a comment, and he more or less kind of challenged me to do it. And I thought, what the heck? So here we are. Rex, shout out to you. Like I promised you I would, this video wouldn't be happening had you not made that little comment on Instagram. You know, it's funny, Rex said that there are 3 things that you need to start a channel off. You need a camera, and he featured some cool camera that he had used back in the day. He recommended lights, and he recommended a tripod, at least from a gear standpoint. And of course, there was also some video and audio editing software as well. And I like I think I said before, I'm really good at coming up with excuses, and I don't have any of those things, and I never really went out and got any of them. But tonight I decided, you know what, screw it. I just got to do something. Better something than nothing. And nothing is what I've been doing for a long time. So I do have some lights. I did spring for that. I got a bonus for my work a couple years ago, and got an electrician out and put some lights in, so I do have some pretty decent lighting in here. But tripod, we'll check this one out, Rex. That is my tripod right now. Come on, focus. There we go. My tripod, it was an experimental miter slot or miter joint that I was working on for something. I don't even know now. And editing software, I'm gonna have to figure that one out. So I guess I wanted to start by just giving you a little bit of background about myself. I got into woodworking about 2.5, almost 3 years ago. My parents moved out of their house. My dad had a bunch of old tools in his basement that were just old Ryobi tools, an old generic drill press or something like that. A couple of other odds and ends that he couldn't take to the new place. Asked me if I wanted them. I thought, sure, what the heck. I've always had, the odd drill, set of wrenches, hammer around the house to hang things on the wall and whatnot, but never much more than that, just handy little things like that. And so I took them, and it was perfect timing. In 2016, I had just come through doing a little bit of soul searching, and as part of that kind of came this personal motto that's been with me ever since, and that was create more and consume less. And, just a bit of personal background on myself, I have struggled off and on with depression ever since I was a teenager. But for me, there was a personal revelation where I realized that some of that, at least a piece of that, was that I always felt like I was consuming. I was just taking. I was playing video games. I was reading books. I was watching, Netflix or YouTube or TV or whatever it was. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with any of those things, when you do nothing but those things, I realized, at least for me personally, I wasn't really creating. I wasn't adding to the world. I was literally just consuming what somebody else had added to the world. And I decided I wanted to change that. And so it was fortuitous that my dad gave me those tools. They sat on my basement floor for a couple months while I didn't know what to do with them. And then beginning of September 2016, I said enough's enough. I said I'm going to build a bench because I need some place to actually use the tools. This behind me is the first thing I ever built. It's not pretty, it's not perfect, but I am proud of it. It's the first thing I ever built in my entire life. And it's done great for me here. And that was sort of the beginning of the hobby, the addiction, the drive to keep on this. So with that being said, I have no experience woodworking. I'm not a craftsman. I'm not a tradesman. I've never built a house. I've never worked in a woodworking shop. I've never had some master carpenter yelling down my neck about cutting faster, straighter, more square, whatever. Literally everything in here I have learned from watching YouTube videos and or just figuring it out myself. Some channels that have really helped me out have been some of the guys that give like the really good beginner videos. Steve Ramsey's Woodworking for Mere Mortals, of course, is great. Rex Kruger's channel is really good as well. He breaks things down pretty easily, and I've learned a lot from both of those guys amongst many others. But, you know, if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of channels that also are kind of on the other end of the spectrum, where these guys are, besides the dollar amount of the tools in their shop, they're just doing amazing work, even if they're doing simple stuff. You know, Wood by Wright, actually, I think he's just down the road from me, and he does amazing stuff, and he doesn't have, you know, $80,000 worth of equipment, but he's still doing kind of fine woodworking types of things, right? You know, they're doing amazing things, but for me, and this is just me personally, you know, when I watch Jay Bates, when I watch The Wood Whisperer, when I watch, you know, Jonathan Katz-Moses and some of the guys, you know, Matthias Wandel, John Heiss, they're amazing craftsmen, but to me personally, at my level of experience, they just kind of feel out of reach. And so I can watch their videos and I can get some ideas. I can certainly learn some techniques and some ways of doing things, and you know, some out of the box thinking, which is amazing to watch those channels for. But they always, for me at least, kind of felt unattainable. You know, I'm not going to build a stinking walking Tyrannosaurus Rex like Izzy Swan or whatever, at least not yet. Who knows what the future holds. And so my idea for this channel was to kind of just bring you along my journey. I've been at this 2.5 years, and crap, I am still making a ton of mistakes. I've learned so much, but I've also made a lot of mistakes. And what I realized is that a lot of these channels don't focus on the mistakes, because of course they're project channels. They're great, right? Here's my idea, let's go watch me mill the boards down and put it together and assemble it and finish it, and ta-da, and it's beautiful. And look, I mean, they're great videos, they really are. But they don't really focus on what the screw-ups were. And I know that I have learned so much from channels. Sometimes it's a 10-minute video will have 20 seconds that to me was the best 20 seconds. And it's not about the build, it's about some little thing they say about why they use one brand of sandpaper or another, or why they chisel this way and not chisel that way, or sharpen this way and not that way, or some little quick tip or whatever. It's, to me, it's the why behind the what they're doing that I'm always so fascinated by, that helps me personally grow into the trade, or into the craft here, I guess, rather. And so my idea, and the reason I even call it Mo Learns Making, is that, guys, I'm learning. I'm probably maybe somewhat behind some of you guys, and if I'm ahead, not by much, because I've only been at this 2 years and a change. So, you know, I am coming along with you guys, and so I thought it would be fun to kind of, document my journey. What did I learn? What worked well? And whatever. And guys, I'm sure I'll make mistakes. But my really goal here is just to say, you know, I want to kind of show, here's a project, here's an idea, here's what I learned from it, here's what I took away, here's where I just totally screwed it up, and maybe why, you know, how it got screwed up and what lesson I'm taking from that for the next video. And I'll probably make more mistakes again. So long as I can walk away with all 10 fingers and toes and everything else working as it ought to work, then I guess I'm going to say I succeeded enough. But that is my, that's kind of my idea for this video, or for this channel. That's why I'm making it. So what's sitting around my shop? What's in reach? Well, I've got a piece of Osage orange that I picked up a year or two ago at a shop while I was on a business trip. I had some time to kill. Googled woodworking stores and found one nearby, and they had this cool piece of reddish wood, which I had never seen before, and had no idea what I was going to do with it, except just knew that I needed it in my shop. I've got a lady at work who's a graphic designer, so she's working on some logos and stuff for me. And I told her I'd make her a cell phone stand for her desk in exchange for a logo. So I'm bartering that piece of Osage orange for that. Also nearby, I have the makings for a pen holder, which can't show you much more than this, because this is all I've got right now. But actually, this is a project, or this is a piece that I have made in the past. I've posted it on Instagram. I've sold a bunch to some friends and family. And so this is the first part of it. This is some mahogany that I've used. I've also made them out of Paduke. Got a couple scraps of that sitting around right now. So I'm sure a future video we'll be cataloging that once I figure out how to even do this thing. So I've got that sitting around, and I've also got a coat rack or a coat hanger thing that I'm working on for my wife, made out of scraps of walnut, maple, mahogany, and Paduke from various projects over the last year or two, where I've kept some scraps sitting around. So this is my first scrap bin project that is something more than just a shop project or something like that. I guess in closing, thanks for watching if you made it this far. This is the first of what I hope to be many videos, and if you are the one of the early subscribers, I guess, thank you so much. I guess it's kind of early to say, you know, thumbs up and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. All I've done is just ramble for the last 9 minutes and 27 seconds. So, hey, if you made it this far, thanks so much. I am excited about what the future holds. This is my side job. I work during the day, and so I get down here when and if I can. There are 3 ladies upstairs that like to see me from time to time, so I probably will not be down here all the time. But when I am down here, I will try to shoot something, create some content, add some value to your life, your world, teach you a lesson, or show you what lesson I learned at best. And hey, come along for the ride. So, thanks so much for watching. Take care.